The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Hey, welcome back to another No Ifs, Ands, or Buts. We call it that because he is Matt Butts, mbutslaw.net, mbutslaw.net. It's B-U-T-T-S, 948-4958, 948-4958. Matt's a friend of mine. We actually got a chance to meet each other through another friend of ours that actually used to do shows here on Tony Kurre Radio. That's how it's supposed to work, and I love that. By a friend of a friend of a friend, we keep the business going. And of course, he actually is helping me out for some things. He's a divorce attorney, also family law, and does fantastic work. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
Oh man, you know what? I'm about to leave the office in 45 minutes and head back to court. I've had court about every single day, just about in the last couple of weeks.
You look a little tired.
It's been tough.
Yeah, I want to talk about this a little bit today because we hear so many lawyers and commercials and things like that, and you're obviously not in that rat race, but your docket is full, pun intended. But we don't realize that you're human too. And I always wonder about that because I've got several attorneys for different things, and I've always said to them, like, do you take a class of psychology? Do lawyers? Because I mean, you're dealing with a lot of crap. When you're a divorce attorney, you're dealing with a lot of crap, and I would think that maybe having some background in psychology would be a good thing. I would really believe that because you're dealing with heartbreak, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did. Not everybody does. I took some psychology classes in my undergrad, and I actually got my undergrad from a seminary.
Okay.
There's a lot of development classes and things like that go into it. And I always say that a lot of what we do is psychological. I mean, in domestic relations law, the law matters a whole lot. The facts matter a whole lot too. And that's in every practice of law. But when you have a marriage that's unraveling, or you have a relationship that's unraveling, or a fight over custody, then these things get really, really, really ugly because they're the most important things to people. When you have these things happening in succession, like over and over and over, to the point where like it's all you're doing is fighting these things. And that's not my whole year, but I'm gonna tell you, these last couple of weeks, that's exactly what it's been, to the point to where I'm scheduling time to come in on the weekend just to catch up with my other stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
No, and I know just by experience that when the court calls, you got a boogie. Sometimes you set up appointments, and when it happens, and you never know what's going to happen because I mean, it could go be one day. You sit there and say, how long is this going to take? Could it take 1 day, 2 days? Do we have witnesses? Do we have people we're going to bring? So I mean, you just don't have any clue. You just got to go. But I also know as an attorney, as you are, that this is where you thrive. This is what you do. You don't want to go to court because obviously if you're going to court, you can't figure it out. You can't mediate. You can't make everyone happy. You can't be amicable through it. So you have to go before the judge. And the judge is probably the last one. The judge is always like, listen, you ain't going to like what I got to say.
That's right.
I love what that. I love that. And explain this a little bit to me because I think the last time I went down there, I was like on a 3 o'clock docket. There were 17 people in front of me. And the judge got up and said, listen, have we all talked here? And everyone's like, yeah. And the attorneys are like, well, I'm going to give you one last chance to all walk on the hallway and talk to your counterpart. And I'm telling you right now, if you can't figure out something between the two of you aren't going to like what I've got to say. There's a good chance that no one's going to be happy here because no one's ever happy in divorce. No one walks out there going, yes. No one's like, it sucks for everybody. And out of the 17, 14 of them settled. Which was amazing to me because I'm thinking to myself, they've been waiting for months to go to court. Months. They've gone through mediation.
Cases should settle.
They've had they should because it's like contract talks with Major League Baseball or anything else. You're gonna have to give something up. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to meet. And if you go in there thinking you're going to get it all, you just not. It just doesn't happen unless you have such a clear-cut case. And in that case, it probably doesn't even go that far anyway, or you have someone that doesn't really care. But I mean, talk a little bit about that. What's the difference between lawyers talking before they get in front of the judge and then after they get in front of the judge? Because there is an immediacy there.
It always benefits my client to settle.
Yeah.
Always benefits everybody's client generally to settle. Not always. I mean, sometimes when the best offer you get is what you're going to get in court anyways, it's like, okay, let's go. I actually like my chances better in court. And that's when you want to go to court.
Mhm.
Or when they're unwilling to settle whatsoever and they just want to go, then you've got no choice. But most cases should settle because it's your life. I mean, we are not talking about just a pile of money over here for some incident that happened in your life. We're talking about your whole life, man. We're talking about your kids. We're talking about your everything that you've accrued over the course of the marriage and maybe even further. Why don't I? Feelings and emotions need to be handled in therapy. The business of this thing needs to be handled in court. And when the business falls through, that's when we go to court. That's when we try it. But we really need to make the business of it work because 10 years from now, you're going to be in a different emotional state, but this same property division is going to be affecting you then. The
Mhm.
same custody arrangement could still be affecting you then. So, like, this is your life. Plan it well and have some say in it.
Is there, I would assume that a lot of divorces happen because there is another. A lot of people are like, they're just waiting. And I know some people are like, don't sleep with anyone else. Don't do anything until we get done with this because we want to keep this super clean. I know you've been dating this other person and divorces can go 5, 6, 7 years and they're not expecting to shut your whole life down until, you have a finalization and a continuance can always happen as well. But have you seen people say, "Listen, I've just had enough. I want to move on my life, and just like I'm so ready to marry this next person. So let's just do this."
Yep.
Yeah,
Shall have.
yeah,
And most of the time when you see that, it is where the parties got married, they separated, they didn't handle their business at the time, they didn't get divorced at the time, they've been separated a while.
yeah,
Other times it is right out the gate. I've found somebody, this is the whole thing, this is the direction of my life, and it's like, okay. Um, but when they want considerations for the paramour in the agreement, it's like, get out of here. No, 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 no. You are handling your business with your husband or with your wife, and we're gonna before you move on. I always tell my people, do not date during the pendency of a divorce. Adultery technically is still a misdemeanor in the state of Alabama.
yeah.
Uh, does it ever get prosecuted? No, I haven't seen it prosecuted, but it still is, and it's just better. And you're right, cleaner. Now, do I have the expectation that they're always going to listen to me? Absolutely not. But I've got to say it, and I do mean it when I say it. But you can't stop people.
Yeah. No ifs, and or buts. Matt Butts Law, mbutslaw.net, mbutslaw.net. Go to the website. Super easy to navigate. And I know, having gone through this process, and half the people do, that you're going to, be distraught. You're going to have a lot of things on. You want to make it simple. You want to make it easy. You want to get to the punch and go and do your thing. And Matt's going to be the one that's going to walk you through it. And you'll get through it. All I can say is it's going to be okay. These things do pass. 948 4958, 948 4958. Greg in Birmingham has an email, which is kind of interesting. I hadn't really got an email about this, but I'm going to paraphrase because it's about 2 pages long. He sounds like he
Okay.
needs some therapy himself. But basically, doesn't want a divorce and is
Yeah.
not going to grant her a divorce. He says, I have 2 kids, a 6 and an 8-year-old. Didn't see this coming. And I'm going to fight it. I'm going to do everything I can. And he seems to be a Christian guy because he mentions God a lot in this. And I'm going to continue to pray on this. And I think God's going to turn this around for me. Yada, yada, yada. But if in fact he does not correspond or respond to what she's doing, go through that process. How long can he keep it going if he doesn't want to have anything to do with it? Typically speaking, what happens there when one person wants a divorce, the other one's like, it ain't happening.
All right. Now I have seen this scenario a lot. There is a chance that there's a reconciliation. Obviously, I'm not saying that there's never a chance of reconciliation, but what I am saying is you're not the one who grants divorces, the judge is, and the judge is going to grant that divorce. You may make it take longer to get there. It's still going to get there. If you say I'm not going to participate at all, and the judge awards whatever property based off of the other party's testimony, 30 days later, that's is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I understand not wanting it. I understand dragging your feet saying, I want to save this marriage. I'm not against that. But in the process of that, you need to understand that a divorce has been filed, and that a lot of the custody arrangement decisions and property decisions are going to be made with or without you.
Without you, yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Uh,
if you,
you
yeah,
cannot show up the last day and say, "No, I don't like that." You had all this time.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
you got you got to participate.
Yeah, it does take two, and eventually, and this is not a movie, so we'd like to think that there's going to be some wild turnaround. She's going to realize, like the Escape song, the Pina Colada song. Well, all of a sudden, she's going to realize that you're actually the one she's wanting to marry this entire time, and she's not, and she wants to. What's the chances are by be pushing, you're making it even worse.
I understand making decisions based on faith, and I don't discourage that.
Yeah.
I do discourage making decisions based on emotion. Sometimes most of the time those things are distinct. Sometimes we kind of correlate them. We need to separate the emotion. And I mean, again, I went to seminary, man. Like, I get it. I don't
Mhm.
want marriages to end, but I also don't want to see somebody get steamrolled unnecessarily either.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with
Yeah.
it.
Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. We always have a lot of emails. By the way, 948-4958, mbutslaw.net. This is no ifs, ands, or buts. He's a divorce and family law man. He's the best. We always have a lot of questions about kids. And it's unfortunate because there is no winning there. It's difficult on any kid. I know we talked last week about the gray divorces. There's been a major update in gray divorces. That is divorces after 17, 18, 19 years. It's when the kids fly the coop because the family feels like, well, or at least the mom and dad feels like, hey, listen, I've done my part so far. A parent of my kids now go out the window. Maybe they can understand divorce a little bit better when they're a little older. That's not always true. If anything, maybe it's even more difficult as they get into their parenthood themselves. But if they do have children, typically, what is the age? And this is the biggest email question I get every week. Typically, what age child is it okay to ask a child to testify, or and how does that go about? I know that we have a situation where we have this gal situation, but how does that work? And if in fact if you know that you're in love with your kids and you know it's not so happy the other way, and you're trying to go with dual custody or full custody, and you want to do everything you can to get every advantage you can, what's typically the way to go?
I mean, look, whether or not a child should testify is not something that's decided based primarily on age, but on circumstance and situation.
Yeah.
So you got to look at how bad the situation is, and you got to weigh whether or not you want this child to testify, because that is terrible. As many things as we can do, I'll file motions for in-camera testimony so the child can go back into the judge's chamber so that the
Mhm.
child's not cross-examined. But still, it's a horrible thing on a child. So I wouldn't bring that child to the courthouse at all unless you absolutely have to. If there's a situation to where the child needs a voice and needs to be heard, a guardian ad litem can do that, and do a whole lot of things without the child having to come up there. So it, my thing, I've talked a lot of people out of having their children testify,
Yeah.
A-
Um,
and I'll
go ahead.
continue to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just tough.
and I know this whole process costs money and it's expensive. We realize that, but really doing the guardian ad litem is really the way to go. You need to, if your kids want to have something to say, and you want to do them any justice, get a professional and do that so they can speak because they're children.
And you're not guaranteed a guardian ad litem. I
Yeah,
mean, like those only come under certain circumstances too.
yeah,
So
no doubt. Greg in Northport wants to know about restraining orders. Has heard all nightmares about restraining orders. There's no reason why my ex should want a restraining order, but I also understand that they're pretty easy to get. And if in
they are
fact,
nightmares.
yeah,
He's right.
if in fact it is granted, then you're starting another whole process. It's another caveat of the divorce where now you have to get through this restraining order in order to move on with your divorce. And chances are you're not going to see your kids for a while. Talk about that a little bit, will you?
So a petition for protection from abuse is in place to protect people from other people, from people who actually abuse and cause threats of imminent harm. I need court intervention right now. I need him out of the house. I need him because of this, this, and this. I've seen so many heartbreaking cases where those things were necessary. I've also seen cases where people were just scared based off of nothing substantial whatsoever and go file them as well. I've also seen people lie
Hmm.
in what they swear to be the truth in that petition, get an order, and people don't see their kids for an extended amount of time. And if they do, it's supervised out of an abundance of caution. So um, when he says he's heard the nightmare of it, man, I've seen people live that nightmare before. I'm it's very rare that I actually advise someone to go file a petition for protection from abuse. Lots of times, if there's a
Unless it's true. Unless it's real.
unless it's
Yeah.
true,
Mhm.
unless it's true. And even then, if there's a domestic relations action open, or there was a previous one, or there's going to be one with the divorce, there's a lot you can get done that way too, with ex parte orders and things of that nature. So it's not just a one track. It is I mean, there's the PFA route. If it and for a PFA to stand, there must be an underlying criminal offense, harassing communications, assault, something. So there's a criminal path there. Um, it's the I've seen people use all the paths
Yeah.
when they should have used maybe one of the paths.
In order to get a restraining order, and ultimately, I would assume that as a lawyer, you're going to tell your person, hey, this is not a good idea, or this is a good idea. You're going to know your client better
Right.
than anything. And if they're doing it just because they're being spiteful, they just don't want the other person to have any custody of the children, don't want them to see the cut. They just want to be a pain in the ass, in other words.
Mhm.
What do you have to prove? What kind of proof is there that you need to get a restraining order, or is there any? Can you just say by word of mouth, hey,
Look,
he said, she said?
I used to sit right next to Judge Chappelle, and these things would come in, and I would look through them, and I would try to spot the threat of imminent harm.
Hmm.
Um, and that is the basis which you need. Now, again, you could do harassing communications. I mean, that's not necessarily, I feel like they're going to strike me, but they continue to harass me, things of that nature. Look, it's situation to situation, but if you're in danger, I mean, that's when you need to start thinking about it, but you're not always in danger when just because you're afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, like you need somebody else to kind of walk through that with you. And I will tell you this based on, and I have had people come in wanting to file PFAs just to get ahead in a case. And my conversation with them goes like this: we will not do that, or I will refer you out. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Good. No Ifs, Ands, or Buts is the title of the show. mbutslaw.net, mbutslaw.net. He's Matt Butts, fantastic, good friend of mine. Of course, he's one of the best diverse and family law guys you're going to find anywhere in the Birmingham area outside the state. To 948-4958, 948-4958. You can only practice law in Alabama, correct?
right.
Okay, so as long as the case is in Alabama, you're good to go. Something that came up during several things that I've heard about, and I've got a couple emails on this too. Is typically when you go up on a stand in court, the questions are always yes, no answers. That's why one of the reasons we call it no ifs, ands, or buts. And obviously, divorce attorneys and attorneys in general are very, very good at asking questions to get you to say yes to something or admit something that really isn't the full truth. So you go, yeah, but. And then, of
Hmm.
course, they chop you off, or they continue. Talk a little, because that it's funny. What you got to do is basically you're answering a question. You have to realize that your attorney will have the same opportunity to come back and re-ask that question and let you explain exactly why something doesn't look as good as it actually sounds. Talk a little bit about that, because the judge is like, yes or no? Yes or no? Do not say more than yeah. And you're like, geez, dude. I mean, I had to meet 4 or 5 times. I'm like, because I'm a talker, man. I'm just like, yeah, but da, 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 da. And she's like, yes or no? Stop talking. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Look,
Yeah.
and remember, there's a difference between direct and cross-examination. Direct examination, the witness that you call, there's a lot of rules to it. Cross-examination, it's amazing. It is amazing how few rules there are.
Yeah.
Uh, so. when opposing counsel has you on cross-examination, it feels like you are just being swarmed. But still, they're yes or no questions, right? They may make you sound terrible, but you got to realize that your lawyer's sitting at a table writing that down. It's not beyond him. He or she heard it, and they're going to get to follow up and let you explain yourself. Do not try to explain yourself with opposing counsel. With that generally goes poorly.
Yeah.
You want to say yeah, but when really you should just say yes, and
Yeah.
then look and then understand that your attorney heard it too.
Yeah. Um, I talk for a living.
You got to be careful, man.
It's got me.
Think about it like this.
It's got me in trouble more times. My lawyer's like, "Shut up, stop talking so much," because I'm just like, I want people to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm a talker. I want people to understand.
I used to work with this really, really brilliant guy. His name's John Durward. And he gave the best example, the illustration of this. If we're playing Go Fish and I say, you got any fours? You're not going to say, no, but I got these fives over here. You see? See these fives? You
Yeah.
are not going to do that. You're just going to say, nope, no fours.
Yeah.
Same thing.
The shorter answer, the better, and they can always include. It goes for depositions as well.
Understand
Short
that
answers.
I could object. I could object to people being non-responsive all the time when they start rambling. Most of the time, I'll let them ramble. I'll let
Yeah.
them go, baby. What are you going
Oh
to
yeah.
give me?
Yeah.
So give them nothing.
Yeah. There you have it.
Make them work for it.
Yeah. Josie in Birmingham wants to know who decides which attorney is going to go first. Do you coin flip and I don't know if you know Josie. She sounds like she knows you. She says, please ask Matt, does he like to go first or second?
It depends on who filed first. I mean, so if we're doing a trial of a matter, who filed the complaint for divorce? If it's a motion hearing, who filed the motion? And that's who goes first. Just as simple as that.
Is there any and it's difficult because we're human. I mean, we're human beings. When you got a female judge or a male judge, there's things that play into these things. And we all want to think that everyone's on the even keel. And for the most part, I think everyone tries to do the best they possibly can, as you as an attorney knows. But I would think that you do know, is that like the outstanding, like who wanted this divorce? And then start at that point, like who wanted this and why? Is that how it usually works?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you the why of the divorce lots of times isn't really the most litigated thing.
Okay.
People think many times, hey, this affair is going to be the highlight of this divorce trial. Let me tell you something. You walk in to a trial with a judge and the highlight, your smoking gun is a Tinder account. That judge has no time to be hearing about any of that, right? Your remedy is the divorce. Work that out in negotiations. Be a little more humble if you're the one with the Tinder account, right? Work that stuff out because the breakdown of the marriage, if it didn't affect the kids, and we're not talking property, we're not talking custody, and we're just talking about hurt feelings, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. It's just not because the court is so busy, and they're busy with emergency things. Among other things, it's not only emergency things, but deciding custody.
That may be the best answer I've ever heard on any attorney, any show ever. That people don't understand. This is your life. You're getting hurt. It's painful. It sucks. There's nothing good about it. It's going to be expensive. There's absolutely no good. It comes out, and people get angry. We saw that in Mrs. Doubtfire. They're like, why are you being like this? I want to see my children. She's like, because I was angry with you. I was angry with you. And it's so easier said than done not to react to your emotions and your anger. But the truth of the matter is the court doesn't give a damn. They just want to get you in and get you out. They care. I get that, but I mean, just because your feelings are hurt or you're a spiteful individual should not play into this court. They want to make it as fair as possible and make sure everyone's safe as possible and the kids are okay.
Well, and it's not that they don't care. I want to say that. It is that imagine you have 5 cases in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
4 of them involve the custody of children. 2 of them involve emergency situations. 1 of them is somebody's mad because the other person cheated.
Yeah.
What are you going to make time to hear?
Mm-hmm.
The custody.
Yeah.
The emergencies, then the custodies, then you've got to structure things like that by priority. So, and they're very busy with that. There's a lot of divorce, and especially in Jefferson County, we've got a divorce courthouse of 4 excellent domestic relations judges who are only hearing domestic relations and domestic relations related cases, and they're slammed too. Now they're making time for us. Don't get me wrong. We file something we need to get in, we get in, but they're very, very, very busy because a lot of people are filing things.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in, man. And that's why we
Yeah.
have the court system we have it. And hopefully it works out well for anyone else. All right. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, my friend.
You could call the office. Our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3, and our number is 205-948-4958. You can email my paralegal at aw@mbutslaw.com or check us out at mbutslaw.net. We've got a Facebook page. You can check that out as well.
You doing any rapping this weekend?
No, I've got no time. All I'm doing dude, my nose is set to the grindstone right now. I'm about to eat so quick and then go out and do some criminal defense work.
Thanks for the time for the show, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you, Tony.
Thank you, brother. We'll talk next week.
All right, later.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.